everyone, welcome back to the session of English. In this session, we are going to begin a very important chapter, that is noun. This is the basic most chapter, but the most crucial, and it plays a vital role in grammar. So, the name of this chapter is noun. And in this session, we are going to discuss noun part first. It means we are going to distribute or divide this chapter into various parts. And in this session, we are going to discuss part number 1. Okay. So in future, we'll be discussing more parts on noun. So what we are going to discuss in this session of noun, that is part first. Let us see this. In this session, we'll have the introduction of noun. After that, we'll see the types of nouns and we'll elaborate those types of nouns. After that, we'll see countable noun. Well, countable noun is also the type of noun. And after that, we'll see the uncountable nouns. Okay, so first of all, we'll discuss the chapter's introduction. That is the chapter of introduction. Introduction of the chapter noun. So here we have the introduction of noun. Nouns are words that name people, places, things, animals, ideas, and more. Basically, if you see this word noun, noun begins with letter N. And in short, we can say N for name and N for noun. It means anything that has a name is noun. Okay, if anything. If you are standing anywhere, if you see around you, whatever you can see around this word, that is noun. You are yourself a noun. If you see water, that is noun. If you see river, that is noun. If you see land, that is noun. If you see street, that is noun. If you see birds, animals, whatever you can see, that is noun. In fact, whatever can touch you. For example, if we see air, not air, actually air can touch us. Okay. So if we talk about air, if we talk about water, if we talk about light, if we talk about sun, everything is noun that has some identification under its name. Okay. So you can in short say that N for name and N for noun. Noun is not just like the definition you have heard in your school life, that you heard in your school in very basic class, that noun is a name of a place, person, animal, or thing. Now, that is not actually noun. Noun is everything that surrounds us, everything that you can see, that you can feel, that you can touch, that can be felt. Everything is noun. Okay, everything on this earth or in this world or in this universe, entire, each and everything is noun. Okay, so everything which has existence is noun. Nouns are used as a subject or an object of the sentence. Now we know well that whenever we see a sentence is made up of various parts of a speech. For example, if we see the sentence carefully, the sentence is, first we have the subject. After that we have verb. This is the basic structure of a sentence. And after that we have an object. Okay, so this is the basic structure of a sentence. I have already told about this to you in case of we talked about sentence structure. So if you see the subject is either it is made of noun or it is made of pronoun. Similarly, we talk about object. Object also either it is made of noun or of pronoun. Okay, so this subject can be made either of noun or pronoun, and you can see that this noun, either it can be a subject or the object in a sentence. Okay, so it can form either the subject or the object of the sentence. So if you talk about noun, that what can a noun produce in a sentence? Of course, this noun can make either form a subject or the object of the sentence. Well, what is subject, what is object, that we have already discussed in the chapter of sentence structure. But here we are just going to discuss about noun. Okay, so anything that has existence, anything that has name is a noun. Now, this noun is divided into various types. Now, what are the types of nouns? Let us see. There are 5 different kinds of nouns. It means noun can be classified into 5 types. Okay, so it can be divided into 5 types. What are the 5 types? Proper noun, common noun, collective noun, material noun, abstract noun. So first we'll discuss common noun. Okay, the first thing that we will discuss is common noun. Okay, after that we'll discuss proper noun, and after that the series can be any. Okay, so first we'll discuss that what is common noun, and another thing that we are going to discuss is proper noun. So first let me tell you that what is common noun. Common noun is a common word that is given to any. For example, if we talk about people, if we talk about men, every man, I can say man. Every man, I can call man. Okay, every boy, I can call boy. A word which can be given to the entire category or to anyone of the same category of the same element, that is a common noun. Any name which is given to that particular thing or that particular person, which is common. It means a name which is common in all, that is known as common noun. For example, if I talk about girl, girl is a common noun. If I talk about a boy, boy is a common noun. Why? Because for any boy, I can use the word boy. For any boy in this word, I can use the name girl for any girl in this word. So that word is that word is common for everyone. So every word or any word which can be used for any person in this world, that is a common noun. Now, common noun, anything that is common. Okay, any name which is common in noun. Okay, but if I give some name or identification to this common noun, if I give this name or identification to a common noun, if I give identification or a name to common noun, CN means common noun. It will become a proper noun. For example, if I say girl, girl is a common noun because girl can be any girl in this world. But if I say Ria, so Ria will be a proper noun. Why so? Because it is a name of a particular girl only. It is not the name for any girl, or it is not the name for every girl. Okay, so Ria is a proper noun. Why so? Because it has some. It is a proper noun. It is a unique name of a particular girl only. It is not the name which can be given to any. Okay, so this Ria is a proper noun. Now, common noun is common name which is given to any person. But if the proper identification, if the name or the identification is given to that common noun, that becomes a proper noun. For example, if I say city, of course, it is a common noun. Okay, because city can be called to any city. But if I say Noida, if I say Kanpur, that is a proper noun. Why so? Because this is a unique city. It is not, Kanpur is not the name of every city in this world. No, Kanpur is just a unique city, which is the name of only one city. Noida is the name of only one city. If I say Pune, Mumbai, these are proper nouns. Why so? Because this is the name given to only one city, one place. Okay. If I say India, that is a proper noun. Why so? Because India is only one. Okay. We cannot say every other country India or every other country Bharat. That is only a proper noun. Okay. So any name which is unique, which can be given to only one person or to that particular person only, that will be a proper noun. Now, if you ask me that, ma'am, Ria can be name of many girls in this world. Yes, of course it can be. But every Ria will have her own identification mark. Every Ria will have own identity card. That will be unique. That is not for all the people, or that will not be applicable for every Ria in this world. Okay, each and every Ria, she will possess her own identification card. That is why Ria is a proper noun. Okay. After that comes collective noun. Well, we'll elaborate these with some examples. Okay. Now, collective noun is actually the group. As we can see the word itself, collective. Collective means to collect something. Okay. Or the collection of something. Collective means when we collected many things of the same category. So this is actually a collection or a group, you can say. Okay. Any noun which is actually a collection of something or a group of something, that collective name is not known as collective noun. For example, let us say that there is a bag. Okay, there is a bag or a pot, maybe anything. Suppose this is a pot. Okay, and in this pot, I have collected some balls. Now, this is one, two, three. In fact, many balls are there. And all the balls are of, all the balls are of yellow color. Okay, these balls are of yellow color. So, same category. All are the balls and all are of the same color. Okay, so all the balls are of same color. It means these are the common nouns. Balls are the common nouns. Okay, well, balls are the common nouns. Why so? Because balls are balls and This is a common name which can be given to any ball in this world. Okay, so ball is a common noun. And each ball in this pot is of yellow color with white outline. Okay, so these balls are of yellow color. So I have collected these balls in a pot, and these balls are actually the common nouns, but we have collected them in a pot. So this pot makes a group of these balls. Okay, so this pot is actually the collection of these balls, these yellow balls. So this pot is a collective noun. This pot is a collective noun which has collected. This is actually a collective noun which has collected these balls which are common noun. Okay, now these balls are common noun, and the collection of this is actually this pot. So this pot is a collective noun. Okay, it means collective noun is actually a group or the name of the group which is made of the collections or the elements of the same category. Okay, for example, if I say a class, now class is a group, and class is group of whom? Class is a group of students. So students are common noun. Okay, because each and every student I call the same name, that is a student. But if we talk about class, class is the group of all the students. So that class is the collection of all the students. That means class is a collective noun, whereas the students are the common nouns. Okay, well, this collective noun is very, very important, and its rules are very important. Well, what are the rules which are used with collective noun? That we will discuss later on in the chapter. Okay. Here I'm just giving you the gist of these types of nouns. Now, material noun. Material noun means any material, but that material should be raw material. Now, what is material noun? Anything which is made of, which is either the raw material, which is actually the raw material, whether it is metal, non-metal, gaseous, but that should be material. That is raw material. If something is raw material, that is material noun. Okay, it can be anything. It can be either, it can be anything like whether it is metal, non-metal, or gases. Okay, in any state. So that is known as raw material. Okay, or you can say material noun, which is made of anything. For example, it can be either metal, non-metal, gaseous, liquid. Okay, anything. Non-metal or gaseous, or you can say water, liquid, anything. Okay, so that is material noun. Now, if I talk about gold, gold is a material noun, it is a metal. If I say wood, wood is a non-metal, but it is a material noun. If I say diamond, diamond is also a material noun. Why so? It is the raw material. Okay, and diamond is a non-metal, so that is also a material noun. If I say a gas, that is also a material noun. So everything, every raw material, that is a material noun out of which something can be made. Okay. Now, one thing is there. If we talk about anything, for example, if I talk about a pen. Now, pen is a name which can be given to any pen in this world. So this pen is not a material noun. Why so? Because this is a finished product. Now, pen is made of plastic, is made of ink, but pen is actually a body which contains plastic. Okay. So we can write with pen. Okay. But this pen is a common noun. Okay. It is a common noun. Why so? Because this is the finished product. And the material of which it is made of. For example, if this pen is made of plastic, so this plastic is a material noun. Why so? Because plastic is the raw material. So this is material noun. Okay, but the pen is a common noun. Okay, so this plastic is a material noun. Now, if I give a company name or a brand name to this pen, for example, if I say that this pen is of Reynolds, okay, or this pen is of Wacom. Now, this pen, I'm giving some brand name or I'm giving some identification to this pen. If I say that this pen is of Reynolds, any company, let's say. Okay. Now, this Reynolds will be a proper noun. Why so? Because this is a proper identification which I'm giving to this pen. Okay. Which makes it unique in this world. So, this Reynolds is a proper noun. Now, if we talk about any material noun, but that should be the raw material. For example, if I say a chair, chair is a common noun. If I say this chair is made of wood, wood is a material noun. And if I say that this chair is of Paris company, so this Paris is a proper noun. Okay, because that is a brand name or the company name. Okay. Now, abstract noun. Abstract is everything that is that you cannot see, you cannot touch, but you can feel. Everything which you cannot see, which you cannot touch, but only that thing can be felt, or you can feel that. That is just like feelings or emotions. If you talk about feelings, emotions, okay, you cannot calculate them. These are the real assets. Okay, emotions which you cannot see, which are intangible in nature, which you cannot see, cannot touch, but which can be felt. Okay, which can be felt. Okay, which can be felt. So that is known as abstract noun. For example, if I say honesty, can you see honesty? No. You can see an honest man, but you cannot see his honesty. If I say happiness, can you see happiness? No. You can see smile. You can see somebody laughing, but you cannot see happiness. Can you see the sadness? No, you cannot see sadness. Oh, of course, you can feel that sadness. You can feel those emotions, but of course, you cannot see the sadness. Sorry, you cannot see sadness. You can see the tears in someone's eyes. Okay, but you cannot see sadness. That is why that sadness, that goodwill, reputation, that is all abstract now. Okay, so these are the types of noun. Well, now we'll elaborate them. Okay, we'll elaborate them one by one. First of all, we have proper nouns, specific names given to particular people, places, or things, always capitalized. So first of all, it is actually a name or the identification given to particular people, places, or things, or you can say name given to common noun. Name or identification given to common noun. Okay, given to common nouns. That is known as proper noun. And proper noun always begins with capital letter. For example, your name. Suppose my name is Aditi. Of course, it is a proper noun. Okay, so I write my name as A capital and T-I-T-I small. Okay, of course, I write my name with first letter capital. Everyone writes his name with first letter capital. Okay, if you write your surname, if you write your name, you also write your name beginning with capital letter. Why so? Because that is a proper noun. Okay, any proper noun, if there is any proper noun, that should begin with a capital letter. Okay, and if you talk about any city, for example, if I say Kanpur, so of course I'll write K as capital letter, otherwise all the other letters in short, okay, or in lowercase. So Kanpur, Noida, every first letter of proper noun should be capital. Examples are London. So you can see that London begins with L capital. John, here you can see J, which is capital. Mount Everest, where you can see M and E capital. Microsoft is the name of a company, so is capital over here. Okay, so you can see each and every proper noun that should begin. In fact, that begins with capital letter. We'll discuss common nouns, refer to general people, places, or things, not capitalized. Of course, if a common noun is there, that is a name which is given to any or which can be given to any. So you should not begin any common noun with capital letter unless it begins the sentence. If it begins the sentence, of course, you can use the first letter as capital. Okay, but if there is only common noun and it is in the middle of the sentence, it should not be in capital letters. Okay, unless starting a sentence. Include dog. For example, if there is a dog, so that dog, the first letter of that will be small. In fact, all the letters will be small, and dog can be given to the name of name to any dog in this world. Okay, city, book, teacher. So all these are common nouns. But if I say, suppose there is a pet dog whose name is Diamond, so their D will be capital, of course, or Sheru, so that S will be capital. Why? So because that is the name of a dog, and that will be a proper noun. City, if I say Kanpur, Delhi, Noida, Meerut, so the first letter will be capital, and those will be proper noun. Whereas city is the common noun. Book, common noun. But if I say, if I take a name of a particular book, that will be proper noun. Teacher, common noun, and the name of that teacher will be proper noun. Okay. Now let us see another thing, that is collective noun. Collective noun is a very special category of noun, and there are many errors or many type of rules which are related to collective noun, but that we'll discuss later on. Refers to a group of people, animals, things, or a single unit. For example, herd of cattle, team of players, flock of sheep or flock of goat, army of soldiers, family of members. Okay, so these all are collective nouns. As you can see, family of members. Obviously, if I ask you that how many members are there in your family, maybe possible you say 3, 5. There are 5 members in my family. There are 10 members in my family. So all the members, they collectively make a family. Okay, but family is singular. However, the contents of it means the members in it, they are plural. Okay, because family is one, but the number of members in them are plural always. And of course, if I say army of soldiers, okay, if I say army of soldiers, so this is very common, or this is common, or common sense that this part, soldiers, these should be plural. Why so? Because these are common nouns, and army is the singular. Why so? Because army is actually the collection of these soldiers. So this is collective. Okay. Now, if I say, let me take a sentence. If I say bunch, suppose I say this bunch of keys. Now, of course, I will write keys. I cannot say bunch of key. Why so? One key will not make a bunch. Of course, keys will make a bunch. Okay, the group of keys or the collection of keys is known as bunch. So bunch is a collective noun. Okay, this is a collective noun. COLL means collective noun. Okay, and keys is a common noun. Okay, this is common noun. So bunch of keys, this bunch of keys is made of gold. Okay, is made of gold. Why so? Why did I write this? Is written here for of course for bunch, because bunch is collective noun which is singular, which is always considered singular, but its contents should be plural in form. Okay, because only plural things can make one unit or one group. Okay, so this is actually a group, so group will be singular, whereas its contents will be plural in number. Okay, so this bunch of keys is made of gold, because this is has been used for this bunch which is singular. Okay, I hope you have understood this concept. Well, we'll elaborate this later on in some examples. Now we'll discuss material noun. Refers to substances or materials from which things are made. So these material nouns should be the raw material. Okay. But if it is a finished product, it will be a common noun, not the material noun. Okay. Usually uncountable, and they are usually uncountable. Of course, if I say gold, you cannot count it. You can measure it, but you cannot count it. If I say wood, obviously you cannot count wood. You can measure it. Okay. Gold, wood, steel, water, silver, all these are material nouns. Now, the next one is abstract noun. Represent concepts, feelings, emotions, or qualities not perceptible through the senses. It means which you cannot see, which you cannot touch, but which can be felt or which you can feel. That is abstract noun. For example, love, happiness, courage, bravery, etc. Okay. Now you can say, you can see the brave soldier, but you cannot see his bravery. Okay. Well, but you can feel his bravery in his tasks. Okay. Now, one most important thing over here is if I talk about a word air. Okay. If I talk about a word air, what kind of noun is air? Can you tell me that what kind of noun is air? Is it a material noun, an abstract noun, a common noun, or a collective noun? Well, leave all them. If I give you only two options, that is either it is abstract noun or it is material noun, what would you say? What will be your answer? Come on, think about it. Whether is it an abstract noun or the material noun? Of course, I hope some of you had got answer as well. It is actually a material noun, not an abstract noun. It cannot be an abstract noun. Why so? Air. Air is actually the mixture of various gases present in the atmosphere. If I say air, air is actually mixture of various gases mixture of various gases, various gases in the atmosphere. Okay, in the atmosphere. Why air is not an abstract noun? Okay, it is actually a mixture of various gases present in the atmosphere, first of all. Now, if you see various gases present in the atmosphere. Now, first of all, as I told you that anything which is metal, non-metal or gases, that is a material noun. So this air is actually the mixture of various gases. So of course, it will be a material noun. It is not the collection. It is actually the mixture. Okay. So one thing that makes it not collective. Okay. So this is actually a material noun, first of all. Now, why does air is not an abstract noun? Just because abstract noun is something which is intangible in nature, which we cannot see, which we cannot touch, which we can only feel. Now, do we feel air? Can't we touch it? Of course, we can touch it. If you have seen that when storms arise, when heavy wind is there, even the trees, big trees, they fell down. Why so? Just because of the pressure of air, because air strikes them, and the pressure of this air, it makes them fall down. Okay, so it makes them fall down. Why so? Just because air, the pressure of air strikes them. Okay, so air is actually touching, because pressure can be only made on another thing only after touching it, otherwise it will not. So air is touching us. Okay, now if someone can feel it, of course, if the poor, they are, you can say, they are facing many issues just because of so much hot or heat. So why didn't they feel air? If the air can be felt, if their air could be felt, they would never have suffered heat. Okay, now, or they would never have suffered due to heat. Okay, so air is a material noun, not an abstract noun. This is the one concept that is very, very important, and I've cleared it to all of you. Now let us move to the another concept. Now we have countable noun. Okay, so we have already read these 5 types of noun. Now we'll discuss countable noun. Countable noun is a type of noun that can be counted as individual units or discrete items. These nouns have both singular and plural forms and can be quantified using numbers like 1, 2, 3, etc. Now, there is much confusion among people that the difference between countable and uncountable. If I ask you that what are countable nouns and what are uncountable, only the answer should be countable, which can be counted in terms of 1, 2, 3, 4. Anything which you can say 1, 2, 3, 4 is countable now. And if we cannot count it in terms of 1, 2, 3, and so on, that is uncountable now. For example, if I say boys, of course, I can count them. I can count 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. Okay, there are 5 boys in a class. There are 6 boys in this room. Okay, if I say students, of course, I can count them. Suppose I say there are 48 students in this class. There are 50 students in this class. Of course, I can count them. I can count 1 student, 2 student, 3 student, 4 student, and so on. Okay. But if I say water, can I count water? No, I can't. Can I say 1 water, 2 water? No, that cannot be said. That is why water cannot be counted, though it can be measured. Water can be measured, but it cannot be counted. I cannot count water in terms of 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on, but I can count glasses of water. I cannot say 1 water, 2 water, 3 water, 3 water. That is wrong. I cannot classify water in terms of 1, 2, 3, and so on. I cannot discrete water. Okay, but I can count people. Okay, I can say 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. Okay, but anything that can be classified or quantified in terms of 1, 2, 3, 4, that is countable. But if it is not, if it cannot be classified in terms of 1, 2, 3, 4, it is uncountable in nature. Okay. Another important thing is, suppose if I ask you stars, whether stars are countable or not, just keep this in mind. Yes, stars are countable. Of course, they are countable. Why so? I can count stars. Now, as I say, there are 7 stars in Saptarishi. or there are 7 stars in Ursa Major. I can count them. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You must have seen Saptarishi or the constellation Saptarishi. It is just like this. I'm just making the figure. It is somewhere like this. Okay, so you must have seen this. Okay, it is somewhere like this, and this is actually the figure of Saptarishi. You must have seen this. Okay, so in the sky. Well, this is actually Saptarishi where you can count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 stars are there. Okay, that makes a that make a question mark. Okay, so this is actually the formation of Saptarishi. Well, I can count 7 stars in there. Well, I can count stars to the extent I can see these stars. I can count them. Okay, at least if I can count 3 or 4, yes, I can count them. Okay, because I can discrete them in terms of 1, 2, 3, 4. I can quantify them. I cannot say that there are 2 kilos of stars today in the sky. Can I say there are 5 kilos of stars in the sky? Can I say that there are only 100 grams of stars in the sky? No, because I can count them. I can say there are a few stars in the sky. I can see only 2 stars in the sky. I can say I can only see 3 stars in the sky, but I cannot measure them. Something which cannot be measured but which can be counted in terms of 1, 2, 3, 4, that is countable. But if it is measured, or it can be measured but it cannot be counted, is uncountable now. Okay. Now, one more thing is there. If anything, as you can see over here, if something can be classified into which has both singular and plural form, anything which can be converted from singular to plural form, that is countable. For example, girl is singular and girls is plural. Okay, so girls is the plural of this. Star is a singular and stars are plural for this. Okay, so stars are plural. Boy is singular, boys are plural. So stars, they are infinite in numbers. It means there is no limit for them, but they are countable. Okay, now which has the structure of singular and plural, that is actually the countable noun. Countable nouns refer to things that are countable and can be seen as separate entities. Okay. On the other hand, if we talk about uncountable nouns, let me tell you about uncountable nouns. Uncountable nouns, also known as mass nouns, represent substances, concepts, or things that cannot be counted as individual units. They are generally singular and do not have plural form, describing things perceived as continuous or abstract. Okay, so they are actually uncountable nouns which cannot be counted, which are generally abstract. For example, emotions, feelings, they cannot be counted, they can be measured. Okay. Now, if we talk about examples, we'll discuss them later on about uncountable nouns. But first, we'll discuss the examples of countable nouns. Here you can see some examples of countable nouns. Book, singular. Now you can convert it into plural form. That is books. That is plural. Cat, singular. Cats, plural. Chair, singular. Chairs, plural. Pen, singular. Pens, plural. Student, singular. Students, plural. Okay. Now, here we have some rules for countable nouns. First of all, plural form. Most countable nouns form their plural by adding s at the end of the singular form. Now, it is very basic that after a noun, whenever we add s to a noun, it converts into plural form. Okay, so there are some nouns in which we add s in the end of the word or at the end of the word, and it makes it forms its plural form. For example, in book, if I add s, it becomes books. That is its plural form. Okay, it is in boy, boys, girl, girls, student, students. So there are many nouns in which I just add s and it becomes plural. Okay, in chair I add chair s, so it becomes chairs. Okay, pen become pens. There are many nouns like this. Another structure is adding es. Now there are a few nouns or some nouns after a or in the end of which when we add es. Okay, a word in the end of which I add es and it converts into plural noun. How? Es for words ending. If a word. Now let me tell you, if a word is there which ends with um, S, double S, CH, SH, Z, X, and O. Now, if any word ends with any of these letters, we add es to that word and it becomes plural noun. It means if the word ends with any of these letters, we add es in them and that becomes plural noun. For example, if we talk about bus, now the last letter is S, so I add es to it and it will become plural noun. Okay. For S, glass. Glass contains double S and glasses is the plural of it. Okay. If I say bench, bench, so this word is ending with ch. So if I add es, so it becomes benches. Okay, so it will convert into plural form. Watch, watches, box, boxes. Okay. Now brush, brushes. Okay, it is ending with sh. So the plural of it will be brushes. brush-es. Okay, brushes. Okay. And O, for example, mango. So mango is ending with O, and if I add es, it will become mangoes. Okay. So there are a few exceptions to this rule, and that is somewhere making some different rule. Actually, that is not the exception to this rule, but that is making something else. Okay. Now, irregular plurals. Well, some countable nouns have irregular plurals. For example, child to children. The plural of child is children, person, people. And if I have word ox, the plural of ox is oxen. Okay, it is not oxes, it is oxen. If I take mouse, the plural of mouse is mice. Okay. If I take men, the plural of men is men. Okay. If I take woman, so the plural of woman is women, and its pronunciation will change. That is women. Okay, woman, women. And in case of child is children. Okay, louse is lice. Okay, and if we have tooth, tooth is singular and the plural of it will be teeth. Foot, feet. Foot is plural, whereas feet is foot is singular, whereas feet is plural. So these are irregular plural forms. Now, singular form with a or n used before singular form when talking about one item, a book, an apple. Okay, so we have already read this chapter article. Also, we'll discuss a few concepts in the chapter of article only. That before some noun, if the noun is singular, we can put a or n. Because if it is a singular noun and we can put indefinite article before them, but that should be singular countable noun. Okay, if the noun is uncountable, we cannot use indefinite article before them. Now, use of many. Before plural countable nouns, we can use many to indicate a large number. Now, if the nouns are plural, of course, countable nouns can be converted into plural form. Uncountable noun will not be converted into plural form. So, if plural nouns are there, we can use many before them, or you can say many can be used only before countable nouns. Okay, countable noun which are plural. So, countable, plural. Okay. But before uncountable nouns, of course, uncountable nouns are always considered singular. And before uncountable nouns, we can use much, not many. Okay, we can use much, but not many. For example, many students attended the seminar. Now you can see students plural, and we have used the word many over here, which is plural. Use of few indicates a small number of items where few means equal to no or equal to zero. Well, few is always used with countable nouns only. We cannot use few with uncountable noun. It can be used only with countable nouns, and that should be in plural form. So few chairs available. Uses of several. Several can be only used with countable nouns. It cannot be used with uncountable nouns. Refers to an indefinite number greater than a few. For example, several books. Uses of numbers to indicate exact quantity. For example, 3 dogs. Okay. Now, uncountable nouns are those nouns which cannot be counted, which can be measured, but which cannot be counted. Now, examples of uncountable nouns: water. We can say water, but not waters. Okay, and water is uncountable. We can measure it, but we cannot count it. Sugar. Now, we can count crystals of sugar, but if we go to buy sugar, do you buy it like give me 4 pieces of sugar, give me 4 sugars? No, you buy that in case in the manner that 2 kgs of sugar, 1 kgs of sugar. Okay, so sugar can be measured but cannot be counted. It is actually the solution content. Okay, we cannot use the word sugars. Knowledge is uncountable. Okay, we cannot say knowledges. Happiness is not a word. Music, we cannot say musics. Okay, music. These words are uncountable. Why so? Because these cannot be used, or that these words cannot be classified in terms of 1, 2, 3, and so on. Okay, so uncountable nouns are those nouns which cannot be counted, which can be measured, but they cannot be counted ever. Okay, so here we have read several categories and types of nouns. Uncountable noun refers rules of uncountable nouns. First of all, no plural form. We cannot make a plural form of uncountable noun, always treated as singular. Correct one, the water is good. We cannot say the waters are good. Okay, this one is incorrect because waters cannot be used. We cannot convert water into plural. If there is a term waters is actually a term which is used for oceans or the water bodies. Okay. Now, no indefinite article. We cannot use any indefinite article before an uncountable noun. Why so? Because a and n means one, and uncountable noun cannot be counted or cannot be classified in terms of one. Okay, so we cannot say a water. That is incorrect. Okay. However, if we want to make this if we make this uncountable noun if we make this uncountable noun particular, we can use the before it. Okay. For example, if I say water is essential for life, it means I'm talking about all the water. Okay. So I cannot say the water. But if I say the water of this pond is dirty, it means I'm making that water particular. I'm talking about only water that is inside this pond. There I can use the water. Okay. But I cannot use indefinite article before water or any uncountable noun. Uses of some for indefinite quantities. Well, some is a word which can be used with countable noun as well as uncountable noun. Okay, so with uncountable noun as well. But in case of countable noun, it can be used only with plural, whereas uncountable nouns, they are always considered singular. For example, some milk, please. So milk is uncountable, where I'm using some. I can also say some friends. Okay, now friends are countable, before which I can use the word some. Okay. Now use much for questions and negatives. How much coffee do you drink? So before coffee, we are using the word much. Use a lot of or plenty of for large quantities. A lot of money, plenty of food. Okay, so money is uncountable, so we can use a lot of, and plenty can be used with food, which is uncountable. However, these words can be used for countable as well, but those countable should be in plural form always. Well, this concept will again revise in case of adjectives. Containers make them countable. Now, coffee is uncountable or milk is uncountable. But if I say 2 cups of coffee, 1 glass of water, so in that manner we can count them, but in terms of cups and glasses. Okay. Well, all these concepts, I hope this much is clear to you all. This is actually the concept of noun that we have discussed in this session. And these are very important and crucial parts of noun that will definitely help you out in doing all the other chapters or all the other parts of the speech, like adjectives, verbs, articles, and so on. Okay. Well, I hope this session you find beneficial. In fact, you really enjoyed this session. You got to know many things. You got to learn many things or many concepts about noun in this session. So, well, now let us finish this topic here only. And in the next session, we'll continue with noun with some more different concepts. Till then, thanks to you. And if you want to learn more, stay connected with me. Thanks to you.